Hello, how are you doing? My name is Ale. Decided this morning after seeing this news about in my state back in Mexico where I used to live with my parents, they voted for a law, an anti-abortion law basically, which prevents women from getting an abortion even if they have been raped. Today I'm going to talk about why I changed from being pro-life to now being pro-choice. Yes, and I'm like almost 100% sure a lot of people are gonna get mad at me. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know where people are. Like, honestly, these days, people surprise me. But I believe that this is an important topic and it needs to be talked about, shine a light on. This needs to be said, and so here I am saying it. Yes! So, let's start at the beginning. Yes, I was actually pro-life or anti-abortion, however it is called, the term, I don't know. Just people that are like not okay with women getting abortions, like at all. I was in that bandwagon because that's how I was raised, and it was based on our religious beliefs because we were raised Catholic, right? So it was very like clear and straightforward. There was no other way of thinking. It was just like, this is how things are, these are the rules that we need to follow, and if you don't, you go to hell and it's horrible. The 10 Commandments was do not kill, right? So that included in the 10 Commandments babies that were inside the moms, right? A person is a person as soon as it is conceived, which is like as soon as the egg and the thing get together and a cell starts forming and it starts happening. In Catholic religion, that's like already you're a person and you have a soul already. God has like put a soul into that thing already, and like you've been planned all of this time and this is how it's supposed to happen, all of these things, right? So I blindly believed it because I had no other way. I don't know. Nobody ever questioned it around me. Everybody just like took it as a, okay, this is how it is. And so that's how I grew up, and that's what I grew up believing. And I still was anti-abortion pretty like recently, like up until a couple years ago, because before that and for all of this time I hadn't been educated about it and I hadn't seen outside of this perspective. Now that I'm outside of that bubble that I was in and I've seen other perspectives, I've gotten educated, I've seen different cases of women and why they needed an abortion and how it happened and horrible stories and all of these things. This is when a few years ago, after learning all of these things, I decided that I was pro-choice, that I was gonna be pro-choice. I understood this point of view now from this side of the argument or debate. I am in the team of women. I think, at least for my experience, this happened at the same time that I discovered the true value of women and how that has been compromised through the years through many practices of mainly misogynistic stuff and patriarchy, blah 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 blah, all of these things. Society, one way or another, has made women and people believe that women's lives are the last thing that needs to be worried about, that everything else needs to be put above a woman's life and autonomy. So I don't believe that's the right way. I don't believe that's correct. It is my belief that that is wrong, and I'm fighting to change that because I believe that 100% every woman should have the right to decide for themselves what they're gonna do with their bodies and what they're gonna put their bodies through. A lot of people don't really think about what it means to be pregnant. And that is why I also think that if you don't have a uterus, you have no opinion about this, okay? Because you don't even know. I do have personal close friends that are having babies. Right now, it's been happening. They've been pregnant for last year. Now they have a toddler, and I've seen all of that through Instagram. Now, obviously, I know that it's not the same as like living it, but like, all I'm saying is like, I am not against having children or anything, you know? Like, I love Natalia, my niece, with all my heart, and I just like, it makes me so happy to see my friends and all of these women having their babies right now being so happy. Like, that made me so happy. That's okay. It's all about each person's decisions, and that's all I am like fighting for right here. for every single woman to have her own choice to go through pregnancy and have a child or not. Some women want that, you should be able to do it. If you don't want to do it, you should be able to not do it. Okay, that is like the simpler form of this whole video basically. Some people don't understand. I don't think I fully understand yet, but like I think I understand a bit more after watching Colleen Ballinger go through her pregnancy and sharing all of that, which I am very grateful that she did that. Because it was very, very educational, and I think this is what everybody should do, try to educate themselves on this, on pregnancy and all of these topics before having opinions. Yeah, so I learned a lot about what pregnancy can be for a lot of women, and that it's very different for a lot of women. There's different kinds of pregnancy, and there's easy ones and there's not so easy ones, and there's really hard pregnancies and complicated stuff happens, heartbreaking tragedies happen, all of these things happen in this whole thing that shouldn't be just like, oh, psh, you should just have a baby. Like, it's not that like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have, like, it's a big decision. This is why having a baby is a big decision that should be made, you know, with yourself, or if you have a partner, with your partner. It's something that people think about for months and months, and people are like, have to be ready for it and decide, and like, how can you think that it's okay to like make somebody create a life just because like, oops, they're pregnant. Like, I used to be the one who said like, oops, so you know, everybody knows about sex education, because I received sex education on 5th grade when I was in school, right? It wasn't perfect and it wasn't the best sex education, but at least they like informed us of stuff. Also, my mother informed me. Like, I had a very decent sex education, a lot of things to improve, but still, you know, because LGBTQ+, let's not even talk about that. That is like not even there. We need to add that. That's another topic. But I did know that how pregnancy worked scientifically. People had to use a condom to protect from STDs and also to protect from pregnancy. Like, this is like the basic stuff that everybody knew. So I was to believe also that everybody knew this. So I was taught to judge people, or like teens that would get pregnant accidentally. I was taught to judge them. Like, I was taught to believe that they also knew and that they knowingly went and got pregnant. When in reality, there is a lot of people who haven't had the correct sex education and haven't been educated properly. And for whatever situation, and sometimes, a lot of times it's because of poverty, so a lot of times it's not even like in the government, in the public schools, is not even like enforced right or correctly, or it's like outdated, or people don't care, or the teachers don't care that the students aren't even paying attention. They treat it like as a class, a boring class that they just have to do, and like nobody even cares about it. Like, there's many reasons why a lot of teenagers and young adults got pregnant, especially the ones that are in the lower social classes, unfortunately, that have the least of the quality of the education to know how you can get pregnant. Also, it's because of the culture. Many times it's the boyfriend that makes bullies the girlfriends and manipulates their girlfriends, their young girlfriends, into not using a condom when having sex. Or they even like take it off while having sex without her knowing. And then like, there's many cases that people don't even think about or consider. That like, no, it's not like this umbrella term like, oh, teenage pregnancy, she must have like searched for it and wanted it, and for sure she's like sleeping around. Like, it's not that like all the time, you know, like that's not the norm. These other cases, like I just said, it was a surprise pregnancy and a very unwanted pregnancy that should not be happening, also because it is very dangerous for teenagers to be pregnant in the first place. It's dangerous for the women body when it's not yet done developing to get pregnant. So that's another reason why I think it's important to have the option for a woman to decide to have an abortion if it's gonna be life-threatening for herself or for the child. And there are many cases that is the case, and people don't even consider that. Imagine your options. You're pregnant and it's a complicated pregnancy and it's not your fault. You were raped. You don't want this child in this earth. You cannot afford it. What do? Oh, okay, so I don't abort and I have the child, but it'll probably kill me because the doctors are telling me that because it's complicated and everything, that's what's gonna happen. Other option is, okay, I will have the baby, but the baby at the end won't survive. It's gonna be very painful. It's gonna have a short, painful, miserable life, and it's gonna be horrible. That's not a good option. That's a horrible option as well. What's your other option? Oh, okay, you can have an abortion, but it's gonna be illegal and you're probably gonna end up in jail if you want to risk it. So, and that's basically the reality of a lot of women right now, and I'm not even joking or exaggerating. Like, this is real stories that I've collected from online. I've done research. Like, I'm not taking this out of my imagination. Like, this is facts, and we can't live in a world that this is happening. We can't let this happen. And that's why I'm mad, because the people back home in New Orleans just voted for that anti-abortion law, for that to happen. Like, it's not, what are you doing? Think about it. Like, think about all the perspectives. We gotta be more open-minded. We gotta educate ourselves. It's not just black and white. It's not just like one case. There's many reasons how people can get pregnant, and this child should not come into the world. And ultimately, it should be each person's choice. We should all respect everybody's beliefs. And a lot of people come from religious beliefs, like I used to. There was no way around it, because for me it was, you get an abortion, you're going to hell, because that's one of the greatest, like, biggest sins. That's like, you killed your baby. Like, that's what they would literally put in our brains since like little, like all like throughout my, you know, it's not okay. I don't believe that. I believe that everybody should have their choice in their hands, and you know, it's your body. It's not whatever thing. It's a woman's body, and people don't understand what it takes for a body to transform and create life. It's not a little simple thing. I also wanted to say that in that perspective, I would always say, like, okay, so you were anti-abortion, so what would happen if you got pregnant accidentally? Like, if somebody came and raped you. I was taught to answer that I would just give it up for abortion, that I would not kill my baby, that I would have it, and then I would just give it up for adoption, and I would just like leave it in an orphanage, and then the kid is gonna be happy because somebody's gonna adopt him, like a nice family, and that's what's gonna happen. Like, that was my answer, and that was my belief. I was like, that's the only like answer to that. Like, that was my logic back then. Now I come to believe that that is not the right thing to do at all, because I've educated myself and I've informed myself, and I've discovered that orphanages and the whole adoption system for children is very broken, sometimes corrupt, and it's also very traumatic for the children. Messes up with their mental health. It's almost always, it has horrible consequences on their mental health when these people grow up, and it takes very strong people to go through that and not be affected in one way or another. A lot of kids are abused in the system. A lot of kids end up dying and nobody cares about them because there's no record of them. Horrible things. They get thrown into sex trafficking because nobody's really like caring for them. So it's not really that glorious movie-like life that people, I don't know where I got that idea from. So I don't believe that's the right thing to do, and that's just my opinion on that perspective. Another argument I wanted to point out that I saw online was how, you know, if women are forced into having children this way, that like the other alternative would be jail, then there should be an equal or heavier like law that applies to the men that helped create that life, right? Like, if we are thinking about equality, then if the woman has to bear this child and have the responsibility to raise it and all of these things, then this child wasn't born by itself. Like, the same responsibility, amount of responsibility needs to fall on the father, whoever that person is. Now, I will say that obviously it's a case-by-case situation, because we're not gonna force women to raise their children with their rapists. If the system was perfect and all was rainbows and butterflies, the rapist would be already in jail by this time. But because that is not the case, the rapist is probably out and about just doing its life, because nobody really makes them pay for what they did. Interesting thing to think about, I'm just saying, you know? If that is the case, then hello. Alright guys, I am basically done talking about this. I know there might or will be many arguments and counter arguments. People might discuss in the comments, whatever, you know, try to keep it civil, but I know also the internet, so try to keep it nice and civil and intelligent conversations. I would like it to be an educational thing that we can like educate one another on different perspectives rather than attacking people for what they believe. That's what I would like in the comments below. But let's see what happens, right? To conclude, reasons or stances in why I would support somebody having an abortion, and that would include because they were raped, because the pregnancy might be dangerous to the mother of the child, because of lack of sexual education and being young and ignorant about it, for not being capable of raising the child either financially or mentally, or another reason would be because she's a grown-ass woman and she doesn't want to have kids in her life, such as the example of Christina Yang from Grey's Anatomy. A little bit of spoilers right now, but through the end of her journey in Grey's Anatomy, we all know that there was this episode where Christina had this parallel vision of what her life would be if she had a child or if she didn't have a child. Like she says, it's not that you wouldn't like love the child if you had it, it's not like you're a monster and you don't love children. Just that some women just don't want children, you know, they're okay with other people's children, their sister's child, their nieces, cousins, whatever, that is fine, but just some people don't feel that thing that some other people do about having children. You know how people are like, oh, I know that I have to have kids in life, I've always known my whole life, I've always wanted kids. Well, equally as such, there's people that on the other side have the same feeling, but they're like, I know I've never wanted kids and I don't want kids. That's not the purpose of me in this life or whatever. There can be many reasons why. But if a grown-ass woman is just knows that kids are not in her plan and that's what she wants and the procedure is not dangerous, then I don't see why not. Also, this would be like at an early stage of the pregnancy. I'm not okay with having abortions at late stage of pregnancies. Like, girl, you had like time to think about it. Like, no. I don't know. I think that's my point of view right now. There are reasons why I would not support somebody to go and get an abortion. Yes, and maybe you will agree with me in this one. If you haven't agreed with me at all through this video, who knows, but I would not stand behind somebody who is irresponsible, even if you're a teen or you're a young adult or whoever you are, but you are irresponsibly going around having unprotected sex, not caring about these consequences like at all, not making any sort of effort to prevent getting pregnant. If this person does that and just gets pregnant and then uses abortion as an easy way out, if this person is plan in life is just to go around having sex, if you get pregnant, just get an abortion, oops, go around having sex, get pregnant, get an abortion, like that's not what it is. That's not what I support at all. That is never okay. I'm never behind somebody who does that at all. That is not an excuse to be doing that or to using an abortion. That is wrong, no, not okay. Also because people need to realize as well that having an abortion is not just an easy thing. Sometimes it can be a very dangerous procedure or it can have dangerous effects on your body. It's not an easy thing to go through as well. It's not like, oh, let me just go get like a little injection and I'm fine. Like, it's not like taking Leflucia. Like, it's nothing like that. Like, it's a serious thing. Sometimes can be more serious than others, but it's not an easy thing to go through and it's not something that you take lightly and that you're just like, oh, it's right there. Like, it's not an option like that at all. That's not okay. Okay, and I think that is all that I am going to say about this issue, this topic, this debate. This is my point of view. This is what I believe in. I only ask for respect and understanding. If not understanding, at least the respect. I just ask for mutual respect. If you disagree with me, that is fine. I'm happy to hear your side of the argument or your point of view or your experience of life, because we all have different life experiences and that's how we're learning. But I'm open to learn all of this in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, or if you agree on anything at all that I said. If you believe that women should have the right to choose for their own bodies, give me a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna have more videos like this coming on serious topics that I need to talk about. I would like to thank my Patreons, my 3 wonderful Patreons, which are Karina, Marlon, and shout out to Tim. Shout out to all of them, my lovely patrons. Thank you so much. Because of you, I'm gonna make great things and we're gonna save the world. You guys are saving the world with me. And if you are not my Patreon and you want to save the world with us as well, what are you doing? Come on, check out my Patreon page. It's gonna be linked up in the description below, and check out all the tiers that you have. You can only be like $3 a month, like that's fine. Like you don't have to give me all of your money yet, but anything at all that you can help with, I would truly appreciate it, and you can get some perks back, so why not check it out. Check out also my social media. You can follow me here for Instagram and here for Twitter. Those are the important ones, and all of the other ones are gonna be in the description as well. Thank you for sharing the video. If you think somebody might benefit from this video, might get educated or might open their eyes on a different perspective, please feel free to share it. The more we share it, the more we can help women have their autonomy. Like, how hard is that? Like, come on, please. I'm gonna go now. Hope you have a good day. See you in the next one. Bye. I'm trying to make you click on the things, guys.